Top of the afternoon to everyone. Top of the afternoon. Yeah, this is Father Paul. We're gonna do a little thing, test out some things and see how them work out. Welcome to everyone. Like, subscribe. You know, do the things that we know. Things that we're used to. Um, yeah, I want to welcome everyone to this live stream, and I want to thank you all you know for joining me. We're gonna really look like the prime minister look like he might run the date today, and it should be interesting. Should be interesting to see what date he gives. You know, should be quite interesting. Quite interesting. We start off with the usual, with the theme song. Uh, here,
Imagine being able to build
here
an
we
app
go,
with your
people.
name
Here
on
we
it.
go. Here we go. Here we go. The theme song. Theme song.
Me love Jamaica, me not sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. But when we there, yard, nothing nice like Jamaica. Roast breadfruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can't buy me out. Me no foreign minded, no way compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Jamaica love. The one that represent the citizens of Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Represent where you're born. True enough hurricane and star. From the crime rate track, me no matter about tax man, still a hustler than a guan. Jamaican of the link to the link, we connect Canadian, American, England. Make sure say when they are foreign and a hustle, mama visit Western Union. Don't make we build up with foundation. All the hard man, them fear of ambition. Don't flash out all the money back, SSP, any sick guns and ammunition. Real Jamaican, no show me you want. No matter which part of the world where you stand. Me no matter what them want say about Jamaica, me sing it out loud, come proud to be one. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Jamaica love. The one that represents Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Don't give up, Jimmy Cliff, tell him many rivers to cross. Help out your sister if she get lost. Don't turn your face to the grass and pass. Show love to the elders, respect you, cause them pave the way in the past. Some man want like say them better than people. Through them a drive a one vehicle. Vanity make them move evil. It easier for a camel pass through the eye of the eagle. Than the rich figure sit down in a heaven and bitch. That now work. Penny on me ever hungry again, me a walk and look back. Every aki tree me a search. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Peace. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Jamaica love. The one that represent the citizens of Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Me love Jamaica, me not sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. Me day in a me yard, nothing nice like Jamaica. Selfish and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can't buy me out. Me no foreign minded, no way compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Yeah, I would just say give thanks. I don't know reggae.fr. You know the so.
Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, like and subscribe, Yeah, hoping to build out this thing as much as we can. Yeah, so the Prime Minister is supposed to be announcing the date today. The question is, what is that date? Because that date will be based on a number of things. You know, it will be whether or not he decides to announce it for the date that he announces for them to dissolve Parliament is the date. That's the date we need to watch because all the numbers come down to that date. Yeah, so we're gonna touch on a couple things. There's a news item I want to share and have a few comments on it. So we're gonna um, get into that and see what it is that these people are saying. I want to get into that. Let's see if we can bring up that news item and take you back to what it is that we're saying. Yeah. So what you guys think? I mean, you guys think this election is going to go as smoothly? I see the PNP started out saying that they were going to have this thing on, um, that they were going to have a meeting um, on today in Crossroads. And, well, not quite sure what really happened, but for some strange reason, it seemed like they call it off. A very interesting situation, I think. I mean, what is it that would cause them to call off their meeting, knowing full well, you know, that they seem to have been so sure about their meeting. They were so sure they were gonna have it, and that I find quite interesting. You know, why did they call off their meeting? What is it that went wrong? What is it that they were thinking? Why they call off their meeting? Yeah, we haven't heard any real comments on it, but we know that they were in Portland last night. So let's check out what it is that they were talking about in Portland last night. All right, let's check this out.
For a high-stakes political showdown for Jamaica House.
Buckle your
Traffic
belt and your
disruptions
lips
are
for the
expected in
fears.
St. Andrew as
This
the
you will
ruling
make you
Jamaica Labour
know.
Party is set to host a mass
This you will
rally
make you
in
know,
halfway
dear.
through at Fort
Cover
Command.
yourself, dry your
There were
face for the
security
tears.
concerns as the PNP was initially scheduled to wrap up its parish rallies nearby in Crossroads.
Greetings,
But on
comrade
Friday,
leader,
the PNP said it
next
rescheduled
Prime
its parish
Minister
rally for Kingston
of
and St. Andrew
Jamaica.
to avoid a clash with the
Comrades on
JLP's
the
meeting.
platform.
General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell
Comrades,
says the
wanna
move
look
is
good.
aimed at preventing confrontation, easing pressure on the police, and
Comrades!
maintaining national stability. Prime Minister
Hear
Dr.
me
Andrew
now.
Holness holds sole authority to call the election, with constitutional deadlines looming.
There are so many
Parliament
things
must
that
be
I need
dissolved
to
by
say to you
September 14,
tonight.
2025, 5 years after its first
But
sitting since the last election in
We're
2020.
starting with vision.
Elections must follow within 3 months.
You see,
But traditionally,
next
general
month,
elections are held before the
there are
automatic
things we
dissolution
will
of
have to do
Parliament.
as a people.
Both parties have been in campaign mode,
And although
with
it
motorcades,
starts
parish rallies,
with your
and
finger.
workers' meeting taking place almost daily.
Where
The
you going to
JLP
do?
is campaigning on Choose
Where you
Jamaica,
going to put your
while
egg?
the PNP has countered with Time Come.
Now watch me.
The last election in 2020 saw the
All my
JLP winning
seniors on the
49 seats to the
platform
PNP's 14.
and the next Prime
Some of the major
Minister
issues in this
have a
election
vision
campaign
for you.
include the economy,
That
crime, and
manifesto will be
governance.
released
Opinion
on
polls
Tuesday.
suggest it will be a
Fret not
tight race.
thyself. We know so them
Prime
will
Minister
teeth
Dr.
it,
Andrew
so
Holness
we
has
wait till them
declared
call
that
it.
he has worked
But
hard
hear
and
me.
honestly to rise from.
In Portland, the vision that I'm speaking about is upliftment for you. When I came into Portland Eastern, I said I am bringing the heat. And I said to you that we have to think about health because health is wealth. We have to think about education because education is a great liberator. I am standing before you because of education and because God has blessed me to be here. Now, most of you don't know, because some of you know young. But you see, Portland and farming, even when there was tourism, it is farming that held this parish together. And with the guidance and stewardship of Dr. Dayton Campbell, believe me when I tell you this, your future is bright. Think about a logistic hub. And when we talk about the logistic hub, it is PNP's brainchild. But how it will work for Portland is a resurrection of the banana industry. When you think about Bound Brook, just hear me out. Make no mistake, me I don't know dibby liar. Me I gotta talk to you about legislation right now. By the stroke of a pen, statute will bring to life a logistic hub that brings a market right to Portland, right at Brown Brook. So we're putting back life into the economy, and it cannot be done without you, the people. We need to stop beg, and we have to get rid of who are thief. Them for stop thief, so we can stop beg. You understand that? Now watch me. Tourism is just the icing on the cake. We have ecotourism. We don't want a big building for take away the beaches from us where them already are thief. My sister from the west said, you know, I have a duty to rescue you. My duty start long time because you have to be in court because them thief in Blue Lagoon, them thief in Prospect Beach, them cutting up Navy Island, them taking private land from private citizens. They're breaking ground on private land. All these things have to stop. Just understand this. And so, as we use the heat, which is a part of the plan for Portland, is a plan for you to change your lives. We are going to resurrect the economy. It is dead. No matter what they tell you, this is why we have to come together and change our lives and uplift our life. And so it is for that reason that I'm standing tonight for the first time and I'm going to tell you about DEEP. It is the Digital Education Economy Program. Yes? This program is for you if you are 18 to 58 years old. Believe me, the internet is a place that will ensure that you make money while you're sleeping. You just have to learn to do it. If you don't believe me, check me on Thursdays, Context Matters. I make money doing what I'm doing right now. And the TikTok is on, and you monetize the TikTok. But I don't want you to be afraid of technology, which is why when I came into Portland Eastern, I started and completed by to London, Canada, to places where they need 2, 1, 2, 3 visa for go. Yes? Now, this program, at the end of it, when you learn.
Watch what eggs do to your brain. Take a look at these two brain scans. They both look young.
So here it is. We're listening to this guy talk about what he's going to do in terms of this eco tourism. I swear that this guy don't really know what he's talking about. Because first, in the first instance, people need jobs, right? People need jobs. Why does he think that we're doing this? It's not because the people need jobs. And then he's coming up with these things about stealing land and all of that. Where are they stealing land? I just don't understand where these people come up with these things. And it's like these guys create these narratives that sometimes just don't make any sense. You know, it's just crazy. I mean, I wonder what if these are some sensible people? Are they really sensible people? Are these guys conscious of the things they say? I tell you, it just sometimes it just don't make any sense at all to me. So that is the kind of craziness that these guys were talking about at their meeting, and they just have me have me puzzled, you know. But let's let's look at another situation. So as we know, like we said, today is the day that the Prime Minister is planning to call the elections. And let us listen to this to this clip to this clip from the Prime Minister defending his thing.
Announced the date of the general election on Sunday.
Whatever I have worked hard and honestly for it.
Mr. Holness defends his integrity amid renewed concerns about the source of his wealth. Opposition leader Mark Golding claims he will rescue Jamaica. And the headquarters of Jamaica's military was under lockdown this week. Why? I'm Jovan Johnson, and this is Jamaica Now. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is widely expected to announce the date for Jamaica's next general election this Sunday, setting the stage for a high-stakes political showdown for Jamaica House. Traffic disruptions are expected in St. Andrew as the ruling Jamaica Labour Party is set to host a mass rally in Halfway Tree at 4 p.m. There were security concerns as the PNP was initially scheduled to wrap up its parish rallies nearby in Crossroads. But on Friday, the PNP said it rescheduled its parish rally for Kingston and St. Andrew to avoid a clash with the JLP's meeting. General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says the move is aimed at preventing confrontation, easing pressure on the police, and maintaining national stability. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness holds sole authority to call the election, with constitutional deadlines looming. Parliament must be dissolved by September 14, 2025, 5 years after its first sitting since the last election in 2020. Elections must follow within 3 months, but traditionally, general elections are held before the automatic dissolution of Parliament. Both parties have been in campaign mode, with motorcades, parish rallies and workers' meetings taking place almost daily. The JLP is campaigning on Choose Jamaica, while the PNP has countered with Time Come. The last election in 2020 saw the JLP winning 49 seats to the PNP's 14. Some of the major issues in this election campaign include the economy, crime and governance. Opinion polls suggest it will be a tight race. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has declared that he has worked hard and honestly to rise from humble beginnings, telling party supporters last Sunday that he has never relied on handouts. He made the remarks amid ongoing scrutiny about the source of funds behind his earnings and an inconclusive Integrity Commission investigation into his 2021 income declaration.
The story of my life is that I have never been given anything free. I've had to work for anything that I have had. I have said it before and I will say it again. I don't know what a gold spoon looks like. It has never been in my mouth. I have no inheritance or any endowment or any trust fund anywhere. Whatever I have worked hard and honestly for it. I have never gained wealth by exploiting the people. No. And I want to say to you that my ethic is that I believe in working for what I have. By the sweat of my brow, I shall eat bread. And that is the ethic of the Jamaica Labour Party. We work for what we have. And in the same way, we are working for the third term. We are not believing and acting as if we are entitled to a third term. There is no entitlement. Some people behave like they own Jamaica. It doesn't matter that time come for them. It's not a matter that they work for it. It's not a matter that they deserve it. It's not a meritocracy. It's just that time, the effluxion of time. It's just so. But we have never, I certainly have never behaved entitled in Jamaica.
Now, court documents have revealed that Mr. Holness's income and assets were under scrutiny by anti-corruption authorities from at least 2017, as investigators questioned the source of funds behind his net worth, which rose from $350,000 in 1998 to almost $160 million in 2019. It has also emerged that Mr. Holness faced questions about his multi-million-dollar investments in failed unregulated schemes such as Cash Plus and Olint. Now, the details are among the material that Mr. Holness unsuccessfully tried to have struck from an affidavit in a lawsuit he brought against the Integrity Commission, Craig Beresford, the Director of Information and Complaints, and Kevin Stevenson, Director of Investigation. Mr. Holness says the probe into his finances was unfair. Mr. Holness's filings up to 2020, including those featured in the court documents, are certified. But Mr. Holness sought to strike out at least 12 paragraphs and accompanying exhibits from Mr. Beresford's affidavit, claiming they were an abuse of the process, scandalous, frivolous, and vexatious. But Mr. Beresford contended that the Prime Minister opened the door to the documents when he asserted that all his declarations from 1997 to 2020 had been certified. The IC team believes that the assertion implicitly suggests that Mr. Holness's 2021 declaration was treated unfairly. A Supreme Court judge ruled on July 31 that the documents are relevant. The judge also handed a win to Mr. Holness by ordering the Commission to disclose certain documents, if they exist, prepared by 3 named investigators who worked on the probe. Mr. Holness was granted permission to appeal unfavorable decisions that blocked certain disclosures.
All right, so one of the things I'm recognizing is that the Gleaner continues to run with the story, basically as if though to say that, one, the case against the Prime Minister was not closed from last year. It's almost like they're ignoring that whole thing. And they continue to promote the idea that the Prime Minister is still under some investigation, which of course is not true, because there are no open cases. The annual report clearly showed that there is no case there for the Prime Minister. And why this thing is really still open is because the Prime Minister has sought for a judicial review as to whether or not some of the actions that they took were constitutional, and whether or not they were legal. This is really the case that is going on. So, they continue to push certain arguments, and it does make you wonder to yourself, what is it that they're still trying to achieve? The aim of this whole thing was to bring the Prime Minister down. And to date, they have not been successful. The Prime Minister is in a position where he's going to call the election when it suits him. as his constitutional right as prime minister to do, right? There is a window in which he can do it. The first sitting of the parliament, right, was on September 15th, 2020. And so prime minister has until such time to call that election. And then he has a 90-day window in which to call the election. So, people running around the place acting as if though they can move his hand and force him. 2025 is this particular run of the government is particularly different because what? Here you have a government that is running on performance, which is unprecedented in Jamaica. You hear people coming out and talking nonsense about the other times the people run on performance. What performance? What was the performance of the PNP? We can show how they performed destructively. We can see their actions shut down, cause factories to shut down, cause the banking sector to collapse. The over 40,000 businesses that went under because of FinSac. And here in 2025, we saw where they came with a proposal to a budget debate, and we watched how Favour Williams calculated that budget and showed that they would have had a $50 billion deficit approximately. So when you listen to these guys, you keep wondering to yourself, and I always have to go back to that point. If you just want for your party to win, you just want the PNP to be back in power, and you know, I give you something. It reminds me of why a lot of people get married. Get married because they like the idea of a marriage, but they don't want to put in the work. And we know that any marriage that you don't put in the work is going to fail. Does the Jamaican people really want to be wedded to the confusion that the PNP are pushing at this point in time? Do we really want to be wedded to that? I mean, sometimes, we talk about these things and boy, sometimes we feel like, man, it's like a stuck record, but you want it yourself. If people are conscious and if people are aware of all the things, that are at stake, do we really want to go down this road? Do we want to go down this road with PMP? It just don't make any sense, you know. And as I listen to them, I am oftentimes, just confused as to what is it that they're claiming to offer the people. They're talking about time come. Time come for what? Time come for who? What is this time come? It must be to retire the rest of the PMP. Could that be what they're trying to tell us, but we're just not getting it? I mean, I just don't understand what it is that these people are saying. So it was on the 31st, I believe, that the Prime Minister took to the road. And again, in the whole vein of campaigning on performance, he decided that he would, take it to the people as to say, listen, this is what we're about. This is the achievements, in case you forgot. Because again, there's always that 9-day thing. And if who's going to sound the trumpet? Who's going to tell of the things that you have done? And if people would just be honest, let us let's take a look at this other clip that I have regarding this whole thing about the election date.
We will get back to that report momentarily. Meanwhile, on Saturday, shoring up. So as we told you at the top of the newscast, traffic slowed to a crawl in sections of Halfway Tree today as preparations continue for the highly anticipated Jamaica Labour Party meeting. The traffic changes are expected to take effect beginning at 11 Sunday morning, and it will go through to midnight Monday, August 11, to facilitate the Jamaica Labour Party's public meeting in Halfway Tree. Let's have more in this report.
Motorists traveling along Constant Spring Road towards downtown will not be able to drive towards Halfway Tree once they reach the intersection of Constant Spring Road and South Avenue. Motorists may turn left onto South Avenue, right onto Waterloo Road, across Trafalgar Road to Holborn Road, Knutsford Boulevard, Lady Musgrave Road, Old Hope Road, Oxford Road, Halfway Tree Road, and other areas. Or motorists may turn right on South Avenue, across Burlington Avenue, left on Sandringham Avenue, left onto Malines Road, right onto Woodglen Avenue, and right on Hagley Park Road. From there, Richmond Park, Maxfield Avenue, Lyndhurst Road, Retirement Road, and other areas may be accessed. Motorists traveling along Malines Road towards Halfway Tree will only be able to turn left on to Eastwood Park Road. Motorists will not be able to access South Odeon Avenue or Courtney Walsh Drive. North on Eastwood Park Road, right on Red Hills Road, right on Constant Spring Road, and left on South Avenue, right on Waterloo Road and across to Trafalgar Road. Motorists traveling along Hagley Park Road towards Halfway Tree can only turn left onto Eastwood Park Road and proceed northerly towards Constant Spring. Motorists will not be able to turn right on South Odeon Avenue nor right on Courtney Walsh Drive. North along Eastwood Park Road, right on Red Hills Road, right on Constant Spring Road, and left on South Avenue, right on Waterloo Road and across to Trafalgar Road. Motorists traveling along Halfway Tree Road towards Halfway Tree Square will be able to drive northerly on Maxfield Avenue, onto Eastwood Park Road and onto Constant Spring Road. Turn right from Halfway Tree Road on to Oxford Road, left on Knutsford Boulevard, left on Trafalgar Road, straight onto Waterloo Road, left on to West Kings House Road, and right onto Constant Spring Road. Motorists traveling along Hope Road towards Hagley Park Road will not be able to pass the intersection of Hope Road, Winchester Road, Surbiton Road towards Halfway Tree Square. Turn left on Winchester Road, right on Ruthven Road, left on Halfway Tree Road, right on Balmoral Avenue, right on Maxfield Avenue, left on Hagley Park Road, or straight across to Eastwood Park Road. Meanwhile, persons attending the public meeting at Halfway Tree Square will be able to park along Constant Spring Road between South Avenue and Courtney Walsh Drive. Parking will also be accommodated on the extreme lane to the western side only. No vehicles will be allowed beyond Constant Spring Road, Courtney Walsh Drive. Along Halfway Tree Road between Cargill Avenue and Holy Childhood High School, no vehicles will be allowed beyond Holy Childhood. No parking will be allowed on Hope Road, Hagley Park Road, Malines Road, and Eastwood Park Road. Persons parking in these areas must do so beyond or off the roadway.
And so tomorrow, Jamaicans will know when the next general election will be held. Anticipation is mounting as Jamaicans will lend their focus to the Prime Minister and leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Andrew Holness, who will lead his party into Halfway Tree, where it's expected the date for the next general election will be announced. Well, confirmation actually finally came that this will be so during a meeting with the party's central executive today. Jamaica does not have fixed election dates. Now, the Constitution allows Parliament to last up to 5 years from its first sitting after an election. Apka Fitzhenley spoke with CVM, informing the Prime Minister gave a charge to his members to approach the people with humility and commitment. The Central Executive is the party's second highest decision-making body outside of its annual conference. The body also formally confirmed the party's 63 representatives for the parliamentary election that's expected by September. The JLP is seeking to retain power for a third consecutive term. Members of the opposition People's National Party were in Clarendon on Saturday, shoring up support for aspirants who will represent the constituency in the next general election. Party leader Mark Golding anticipating that Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness will be announcing the election date on Sunday, asked supporters to be ready to ensure the PNP's victory in the parish. The motor vehicle.
Should President Trump remove Pride Month and replace it with Veterans Month? We believe.
However, the pastor and the member of parliament are urging the community to remain calm and allow the police to investigate. More from Carla Ramdeen.
Police have identified a man suspected of torching a pastor's car at the Church of God Deliverance Center Ministries on Windward Road. The incident that happened earlier this week was caught on CCTV footage. A man was seen pouring what appears to be flammable liquid on the vehicle before igniting it. Member of Parliament for East Kingston, Philip Paulwell, says he was concerned when he heard about the incident, but is urging members of the church and the community to not take the matter into their hands.
The police have done a good job so far. They are aware of the suspect. We're asking the suspect to be turned in and for justice to be done that way. At the same time, we are saying to the church community and the community surrounding this church that they allow the police to do their work.
The pastor, Gavin Campbell, explains that he is aware of who the individual is, but is urging the community to respond with peace.
I want it to be categorically clear that he and I, we have no ill feelings, but based on what was said to me, that he's sick and he needs help. And we are here to pray and also to help the family in any way that we can.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
The Buff Bay Market in Portland was reopened on Friday, with local government minister Desmond McKenzie giving stern warning to vendors to use the facility. Vendors were urged to care for the market and discontinue vending on the streets.
The ribbon cutting for the opening of the Portland Municipal Corporation Buff Bay Market symbolized more than just a space for vendors to sell their wares, but also the development of a community. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie described the opening as the continuation of good things for the parish. He made it clear to vendors his expectations.
I am not expecting to see one vendor on the streets of Buff Bay vending. This is why you have the market. I remember coming here and when the lady them done with me, I bow me head in shame. Now I am holding my head high because we made a commitment to you. I never made a promise. I made a commitment to you and we have fulfilled that commitment.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for West Portland, Daryl Vaz, says in the past 10 years, the Buff Bay Township has undergone numerous improvements. Mr. Vaz encouraged vendors to use the market so order can be restored to the town.
It's my hope that at some point, all the 48 stalls will be occupied by persons selling farm produce and the other 6 stands in haberdashery, and of course, our meat and fish section fully occupied.
He says discussions have started with the Ministry of Agriculture regarding a fish shop.
This reopening today is an encouragement to restart discussions with the fishery division of the Ministry of Agriculture to also upgrade the fish shop across the road to integrate both. And I can say that we have been in discussions and it looks very positive.
Marjorie Gordon, CVM News.
A member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force was injured during another fatal police shooting in Negril, West.
So here it is, you'll hear people say nothing not go on. If nothing not go on, where people find things to sell. If nothing not go on, how it is that the government manages to rebuild a market
city is destroyed. The people who are saying nothing now go on, where they live, it don't seem like they live in Jamaica, man. Because this, everything for them is not now go on. I mean, again, you know, it is just mind-boggling why it is that there is this constant refrain, not now go on. I remember when I was in Jamaica in January and I was taking Knutsford Express from Montego Bay to Kingston and the amount of traffic on a Sunday night. And when I pull into Knutsford in New Kingston, the guy is going to say to me, he said, boy, I say, how things? I said, boy, not now go on. So he be not now go on. So all them carrier run upon water. No, not really that. So then exactly what you mean by not now go on. Because you see, you have to be careful, Words are power, And if something are going on you constantly, I say not now go on. Maybe it's just ungratefulness. You might get a situation where not now go on. For true. And then where you don't know, you look back upon what was really happening. Huh? And then you regret it. I keep telling people, they need to take this thing serious. This election that is coming up is a serious election. It is going to decide where we go as a country. And we really need to pay attention to this business talking about not now go on. Right? It can't be that we keep saying not now go on. When in fact, things are happening in the country. And here it is that the PNP constantly claiming that they're coming to rescue Jamaica. Rescue Jamaica from what? Does Jamaica look like it is suffering? Jamaica is in the best shape of its life. It has never been this good. The closest it could have, as a matter of fact, it has never been this good. Because if you go back to the 60s, it's only one side of this situation was working. The social services part of what the government is doing now never did not exist at that point. Again, we just come out of just entered independence. So it couldn't have been expected that it was going to be all perfect. A few things were here to be done here and there. That's the basis on which the PNP actually won in 1972 because there weren't enough things being done. And the argument that they had was that, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And you can announce anything you want. At the end of the day, does that mean that is going to happen? What you have seen in the last 9 years is a government that is working, government that is delivering. And here it is, they have it in print. And there are people who have had the experience. They've experienced this good stuff. So I'm still trying to I'm curious to know what is it that these people are talking about when they say not now go on. I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes it just does not make any sense to me. This argument that not now go on. I wanted to myself if there's anybody out there who have an opinion they would like to share regarding this, this whole business of the politics. You know, anybody out there feel like they want to give me a call and we have a chat on this business? Huh? Yeah, give me a call, man. Give me a call and let's see, whether or not we can, you know, talk about this thing a little bit. Because we need to make the right choice. We cannot play around with this thing. We're not there's no room for us to experiment. I think we have done all the experimenting that needs to be done, at least for this lifetime. I believe we need to stay the course. Stay the course. Give Andrew Holness another 5 years and let us see how much further he can take it. And my hope is that the PNP would have found themselves, and even better yet, I would prefer to see a situation where we finish with this party thing. Yeah, finish with this party thing, man. No more party business. Let us go off more getting the best people to do the job. It don't matter. As a matter of fact, let everybody be independent. Huh? And we just pick the best team. The best team to carry the country forward. That is what I'd like to see. That is my hope. My hope for Jamaica. That everyone would put the politics aside and see what we can do to move Jamaica continually forward. Let it not be about party, but let it be about Jamaica. So the phone lines are open. 1-832-447-3532. Again, 1-832-447-3532. Open to receiving a call or two. And let's have a little chat about what can be expected going into the election. And like I said earlier, the announcing of the election, the key thing here is the Prime Minister declaring what date it is that he's going to ask the Governor General to dissolve Parliament. Because you don't start counting the days to the election until that date has come. The date that the Governor General dissolves Parliament. Because then you have 5 days from there in which to declare nomination day. So if the Governor General is asked to declare or to dissolve Parliament on the 11th, which is tomorrow, then what we be talking about is what you be talking about is that date. So you're talking about the 11th and the 5 days, which can't include the weekend, I believe. We have no more holidays for the rest of the month. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're talking about a nomination day of the 15th or the 18th. And then there has to be a minimum of 16 days between nomination day and the election. So again, not counting the weekends, I believe. It says 16 days, not counting public holidays. So if we count 16 days, we would get, if we had nomination day on the 15th, then we would start counting, I guess we'll count the Saturday and the Sunday. Well, actually, I believe it can't use a Sunday. So we're looking at really from the 15th. So we're talking about sometime around, it could be, we could actually have an election again on the 15th of September. That is a possibility, to have an election on the 15th of November. It will be most interesting to see if that is the date that the Prime Minister wants to use, because the 15th of December is the date in which the Parliament, the current Parliament, actually ends, as well as at this juncture, I don't believe that the week before school, that's between the 1st and the 5th, if those would still be good days for the election. I really don't see it. But we will see. All right, so we're constantly trying out this thing to see if we can get some, real views on how people feel about the government, if they think that, the JLP should actually get another term. Yeah. Whether or not, should they get another term? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the JLP should get another term? Or you want the PNP back in office? Give back a caller and let's see. Let's talk about it a little bit.
This is the land of my birth. I say, this is the land of my birth. I say, this is Jamaica, my Jamaica, the land of my birth. My fellow Jamaicans, today we mark 63 years since our beloved country declared our independence to the world, raised our glorious black, green, and gold flag for the first time, and declared that this land, our land, would be home to a nation of free people, charting our own destiny with pride and purpose. Our forebears rejected the notion that the affairs of Jamaicans must be dictated by others. They chose instead the harder path, to stand on our own, to chart our own future, and to build a society grounded in our own image and aspirations. In that spirit, the theme of this year's independence celebration, Be Proud, Be Bold, in the black, green, and gold, calls us to boldly commemorate our freedom and proudly recommit ourselves to the values that must shape our future. Let us be proud of our progress in macroeconomic stability, record employment, resilient growth, reduction in crime, reduction in poverty, and increased national confidence. But let us also be bold in confronting what still holds us back: indiscipline, social inequities, and low productivity. There is more work to be done to build a Jamaica that lives up to the promise of 1962. At 63 years young, Jamaica is still writing its story. We have come far, but our best chapters lie ahead. Independence is not a gift. It's a responsibility, a daily discipline, The strength of a nation lies not only in the capabilities of its government, but also in its people to work, build, and yes, to sacrifice for the future of their families and communities. The role of government in all of this is to create the conditions where the sacrifice of the people is not in vain. Their efforts are rewarded, and there is hope for a bright and prosperous future. That is why we continue to pursue policies that expand opportunities, promote ownership, and reward productivity. We are building a Jamaica where law-abiding citizens have the freedom to work and play without fear, and the freedom to elevate through education, enterprise, and effort. It is with that responsibility in mind that we have intensified our efforts to restore order to communities long held hostage by criminal gangs. Make no mistake, there can be no prosperity without peace, and no peace without law and order. We must never allow our independence to be undermined by lawlessness. The rule of law must be respected, upheld, and defended without apology. We're also renewing our institutions. The work we're doing to improve the public bureaucracy, for example, is geared towards making the state more efficient, accountable, and citizen-centered. Now, I know every Jamaican values their independence, and that is why we are committed to creating and maintaining the conditions that will protect and expand your independence. It is why we have been committed to eliminating absolute poverty in Jamaica. It is why we have been committed to cutting murders to below the regional average. It is why we are building more homes so that more Jamaicans, even those who might have never even thought that they would be able to afford it, can realize home ownership. It is why we are expanding our transportation system through the JUTC, reaching more parts of Jamaica and creating a dedicated rural school bus system for our children. It is why we are investing in our local road infrastructure through the Spark program and in highways to carry us into the modern future we all want. It is why we are expanding our water infrastructure for your homes and your fields. It is why we are spending more on training our young people and sending them to heart and offering the solidarity grant. That is why we gave the reverse tax credit, kept taxes stable, reduced the national debt burden, and controlled inflation so that you can better realize your economic independence. We know progress is not always a measure of how rich you are. Mental and physical well-being is also important. And that is why we are making the largest investments in public health care, for example, in the Cornwall Regional Hospital, the Western Children and Adolescent Hospital, the Spanish Town Hospital, and several other health centers across Jamaica to improve infrastructure, access, service times, and quality care. We know as well that progress is not automatic. It requires the deliberate participation of everyone. The heartbeat and soul of Jamaica is not only in the Parliament or in Jamaica House. It is in every home, every church, business, schools, corners, and communities across the island. We must not become a nation of spectators, wandering through our windows and complaining from our verandas about the challenges of living in our country, while shying away from being active and instrumental contributors to our collective future. Independence means we have the agency, but more so, the duty to choose our path to the future we want and not to leave it up to others to choose for us. This Independence Day, I challenge every Jamaican to choose the Jamaica you want, the future you would like to see. Be active in your contribution to building it and be strong in taking responsibility for your corner of it. Be bold enough to reject criminality in your communities. Be bold enough to start a business, learn a trade, and invest in your future. Be bold enough to reach out and grasp the opportunities before you. And to our young people, be disciplined and diligent in your education and training. Your economy needs your skills and talents now than ever before. To our diaspora, you remain a vital part of our national family. Your advocacy across the globe is invaluable, and your achievements help strengthen our brand in the world. Continue to represent us well, and know that you will always have a place right here, home. As we reflect on 63 years of independence, let us remember independence is a living responsibility. It must be defended, renewed, and deepened with every generation. Let us recommit ourselves to a culture of excellence, responsibility, and national pride that defined the generation that gave us independence. So let us walk forward together with our heads held high, proud of who we are, bold in what we will become, and united in the sacred duty to build a Jamaica that is safe, strong, and sovereign for generations to come. Happy Independence Day, Jamaica. May Almighty God continue to bless and guide us now and forever. I say, this is the land of my birth. I say, this is the land of my birth. I say, this is Jamaica, my Jamaica. This is the land of my birth.
In other news,
My fellow Jamaicans, 63 years ago, our island home, Jamaica, dared to be bold. On August 6, 1962, Jamaica raised its flag for the first time and declared to the world that we would chart our own course and write our own history. Our journey began long before that. For centuries, Jamaica had been shackled by slavery and under colonial domination, stripping our people of their freedom, language, and culture. Yet our people held on to their dignity, their resistance, and their dream of liberation. From the Maroons, who waged guerrilla war against the British forces, to the uprisings led by courageous figures like Taki and Sam Sharp and Paul Bogle, the spirit of freedom and independence burned in our hearts long before it was recognized by law. Jamaica's independence, therefore, was not given. It was earned. It was carved out of struggle, sacrifice, and the unrelenting belief that Jamaicans would one day govern ourselves and define our own destiny. It is this legacy of courage and resilience that we honor with national pride each year on August 6th. Jamaicans are an extraordinary people whose resilience, creativity, and self-belief have left an indelible mark on the world. Ours is the unbreakable spirit of a people determined to build a future on a foundation of freedom, justice, and unity. These foundational values of our nation must be nurtured and supported by progressive policies that uplift our people and strengthen our economy so that we achieve our destiny of greatness. We cannot accept a stagnant economy in which national productivity has fallen by over 20% since 2007, where the annual rate of economic growth trudges along at a mere 1%, where foreign direct investment is today less than 1/3 of where it was in 2016, where the unemployment statistics hide the reality of low-wage jobs while our people struggle to survive the high cost of living, and where the poverty statistics hide the suffering of 55% of our people who are enduring moderate to severe food insecurity. We cannot accept an education system that delivers such poor outcomes for our students, with over 30% leaving primary school without basic literacy and numeracy skills, and less than 20% leaving secondary school with 5 subjects, including English and maths. We cannot accept a health system that is delivering worse rates of infant and maternal deaths in Jamaica than was achieved 30 years ago, and where the daily lived experience of our people in public hospitals is substandard and demeaning. We cannot accept a shoddy, dilapidated road network which has suffered from years without proper maintenance, and an inadequate system of water storage and distribution, leaving so many of our communities without piped water in their homes. We cannot accept an inefficient system of delivery of public services with a bureaucracy which makes doing business in Jamaica so slow, frustrating and costly, and provides impetus for corrupt practices. We cannot accept the undermining of critical institutions of transparent and accountable governance, such as the Integrity Commission, the Financial Investigations Division, and the Office of the Political Ombudsman. Nor can we accept the alarming creep towards more autocratic tendencies that undermine the foundational principles on which our democracy has been built. We cannot accept a Jamaica which has the highest level of brain drain in the Western Hemisphere as our people seek to move overseas to build their future, because what is happening here at home cannot meet their daily needs and cannot carry them forward to fulfill their dreams. The promise and hope of our independence are in danger of being lost if we fail to move the country forward out of the quagmire of these challenges that make daily life so hard for so many of our people. We have the capacity to turn this around and to overcome our adversities and build a strong economy that delivers opportunities for advancement for all our people. However, to solve these deep and pressing problems will require honest and diligent leadership that is caring and inclusive, and which steadfastly upholds integrity in public life. Jamaica needs leaders who tell the people the truth, rather than empty promises which never see the light of day. Jamaica needs policies and programs that tackle these fundamental weaknesses that are holding our people back, and that will unleash the great potential that we have to achieve a quality of life for all our people, that will create a more balanced and caring society in which all Jamaicans feel valued and have an ownership stake. So as we celebrate the 63rd anniversary of our independence, we are approaching a crossroads in history, an opportunity to embrace a positive and progressive future for the Jamaican people. The time of choice is nigh, and it is a choice which will chart the course of our nation for the years to come. In the spirit of our independence, I pray that our people will honor the struggle of our forefathers that brought us this right of choice, so that when time comes, we exercise our right of democratic choice to ensure a better life for our people and a better Jamaica for all. On this Independence Day, let us move forward with unity, courage, and conviction, building a Jamaica that honors our past, rises to meet the present, and boldly claims our future. Happy Independence Day, Jamaica. May God bless you, and may God bless our beautiful nation.
So, in closing, I would ask these questions. Who is responsible for all the things that Mark Golding just said? In all honesty, who is responsible for those things?
I mean, the brain drain, the poor infrastructure. Who's responsible? Who had the country? Who was in charge of the country? People, let's see how this thing work out. And we'll talk another time. Have a good Sunday afternoon.